So because we're using pen and we can't just erase our reflective light shadow the way we did with the pencil, I like to just go in with my pencil and indicate like this area right here. Can you see that? Yeah. That area right there is going to be, and then also I'm going to have one like right there. So those areas are where I want my reflective light shadow. So that way I just indicate with pencil. You can go back and erase it later. That way I know don't do anything else. So I like to do this one. I think this one's it's easiest to do in crosshatch lines. Obviously, you can choose to do any of the value adding techniques that were in the workbook, which are basically all value adding techniques. I think that's all of them. So you can do stippling if you want to take a lot of time to do it. I've had people do stippling on the pen version. You can do scumbling. You can just do hatching, and you can try to do shading, blending. It's kind of difficult with the pen, but I've seen some really amazing people. Like some people do it really well. It's amazing, actually. I don't know if you guys know. She was an 8th grader last year. So with an A. Oh, how could I forget her name? That's awful. I had her a couple of years. She was an amazing pen artist. She would just go in with a pen and do these things like without pencil under drawing. I never understood how she did it. I was blown away by it. Okay, so because I'm doing cross-hatching, I need to follow the contour of the object, otherwise it's still going to look pretty flat, like the non-example I showed you in the slides. So I'm just going to get started. Alright, I'm just going to start here. So I'm going to make... So what I do, what I'm going to be doing, start with my light values once again. And so that means I'm making these long, with a lot of space in between. That'll make more sense when I get to it a little bit farther along. I don't know why I keep going back and forth, but I just need to do it once. So yeah, you want nice, and like I'm going to follow the contour of this curve here. You want a good space in between them because why? Because when you're doing hatching, which is what this is at the moment, it's not cross hatching yet. The farther apart the hash lines are, the lighter the value, right? So I'm doing a super light value by doing a big space in between the lines. I'm just going to do this all like section at a time so that it kind of all comes together at the end. So okay, I got rid of that value. So now I'm going to do make a slightly darker value that, well, I'm going to increase the line on some of these. Okay, so now I'm going to go in and make the space in between the lines smaller, but I'm not going to go as long. So that there's still that long, that area where it's like the big space in between them. And so that makes a different value. See, the light value here, really light value, and then slightly darker value here. This isn't going to look as nice as when I didn't have like the versions I used to make without the contour, topographical type lines. Anyways, that's fine. Don't worry about it. It's all for practice. And I don't know if I emphasized this to this class. I did start emphasizing it earlier, or later in the day. I usually like to think about you guys are like my kind of like my practice class, but unfortunately, because I get back in the swing of things. This is like the one assignment where I'm like, it has to be done right. It's not like, oh, it's your style, which you can't be like, this is my style. No, this is an actual technique that needs to be done the proper way. You're like proving that you know how to do the technique of adding value. So it actually does need to be done the right way in this situation. So I've got my hatch lines to start. I'm now going to start adding some cross hatch lines. These also need to follow the contour. So I'm just going to start doing these. And once again, I'm not going like all the way to the end of my second lines that have created the mid light value, because otherwise I would just make that the same value as what I'm trying to create with as the darker value I'm trying to create by adding more layers. Okay, see, now another one. And I'm going to go the other direction. Like I was telling you when I showed you this, that you can go in any direction you want, really. So I'm just going to, and once again, not going to be going all the way to the end of that value, of the previous value. And they don't have to connect or anything. Like, I mean, it's not that big of a deal. It's not like you're doing this as like, as the inker in a comic book, at a comic book production company, where they have to, be very precise and everything. So there we go. I got pretty good variation value, but then this is still pretty light within these areas where I want darker. This is where it just becomes like, where like it doesn't really matter at all. Like I just go in and start doing like a quick little. And this is also part of like the I told you like you go at the end and you like kind of blend it all together. I do these like really short, very sketchy cross hatching. I kind of like bring those out about it into like the whole thing, where I make them closer together and then make them farther apart as I come in. Like whereas with the pencil, when I was doing making the gradient gradual transition, I would like add or start with a lot of pressure and add decreased pressure. With this, I'm doing them close together and then getting farther apart. Not bad, right? Pen's kind of weird. And then like having those lines on there makes it kind of even weirder. So I'm just gonna call that good because I don't want to take up too much time making it like overthinking it. So I'm gonna start doing the next section same way. Following the contour, and that's why I had those topographical with contour lines on there. I'm going to do the same exact process. Make the shorter lines and the gaps, make a darker value that doesn't go all the way up. You can add like a couple lines in that space if you feel like it. Of all of the ones, the pen one's kind of like the most free-flowing of all the techniques because it's kind of just like it's just a weird media to use, but I see value in teaching it. Adeline, that was her name. Did any of you guys know Adeline, 8th grader last year? No. Oh. Thanks, Shada. Did any of you go to the art show at STEM night? No? No, you went to that? Some of you did? That pen drawing of the girl that was in that art show, that was by Adeline. Like, she would always come and like she would just come to my class everywhere in between passing periods. And like, can I get a pen? And I'm like, yeah, get a fresh pen. She would like blow through pens like a couple of weeks just doing these pen drawings. And like I said, she didn't do like a pencil under drawing or anything. Like when I'm doing pen drawings, I always do a pencil under drawing because I want things to look nice. And she would just go straight in, just straight in with a pen and do these absolutely amazing pen drawings. And she could create like a shading, blending values with pen. This one actually is kind of one of the faster ones because it's just quickly just add these crosshatch lines. I'm just going to get this last section here. I'm going to let you guys go at it. Make sure you always, don't get your reflective light highlight. I never got around to putting the video about the pencil one on there, but it should be on my YouTube channel by now, so I can get it after I'm done with this demonstration. I'll grab an old pen one from previous years for if you guys want to watch a pen one while you work on this. Oh, I forgot to indicate my light source, but I just used the same light source as I had it on yesterday, so it's pretty straightforward. I don't know, that's not the best I can do, but like I said, I didn't want to waste much of your time like showing you just the technique that's just repetitive, but I wanted to make sure that you saw how I did it with the whole thing. So I ended up with those, and then obviously, of course, you need to have your cast shadow. So just go in and indicate where your cast shadow is going to be. And this can, the cast shadow does not have to be done well. Like, I don't care about the cast shadow. Like, just indicate where the cast shadow is. Because I just want you to understand and show that you understand that forms have cast shadows. And when you're painting, like if you ever become like a painter, believe me, shadows are the hardest thing to render in paint. Like that one painting of the books with the quill pen and the journal and the mink skull that I had up as a barrier the other day. Like that got accepted to a gallery exhibit last year, and I was just looking at the shadow. God, I really bungled that shadow. I have a whole different plan on how I'm going to do the shadows on what I'm going to be working on today, because I want to enter that into a exhibition. That's what I got me, is I got to finish it. Alright, simple as that. Does that make sense to everybody? Pretty straightforward, right? You understand how we're going to do this, yeah? Alright, we got plenty of time to work today. Let's take our time, but let's do and doing well, but let's do it. Yeah, make sure you sign out on your way out, alright? Okay, dude, that's wonderful. Very good. Thank you for actually doing one of my projects. Appreciate that. Keep it in your copy so you can document it when it comes time to do the rest. Are you going to do it on pen too? No, think about it. Okay. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.